Welcome back to TC911 Beyond the Call, Episode 2. I am your host, Abbey Dudek, the Communications Coordinator with Tarrant County 911 District. And today I am interviewing our Director of Support Services, Miss Shantelle Oliver. Thank you for getting on the podcast today, Shantelle. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Abigail.
Yes, it's so great. And you're our first person on the staff that I'm going to be interviewing. So
I'm super excited about it.
One down, 25 to go? I lose count. Is it 28?
26 more after me.
Okay.
27 of us.
So I was off. So on my last podcast, I think I said we had 26 on staff. So plus one.
Yeah, plus one.
Okay. So I have to correct myself from the last one that we have 27 members on staff. Yeah. Okay.
And we're growing still.
Yes, we have two positions.
Yep.
Hiring the GIS position and the technical position, which I can...
The title.
It's on our website.
Yes, it is.
On TC911.org, and along with all of the other dispatch centers that are currently hiring.
Yep.
But yes, that one is... I forget the title too, because it's I don't know.
It's a technical
job. If you're a tech person and work with phone lines and stuff like that, right?
Well, actually, the call handling equipment is Sarah's team. So they deal more in the PSAP.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you have vast experience in that, go to our website at tc911.org and check out the job post for that technical position.
Neither one of us know.
And right. And then the GIS position.
Yes.
So that one is easy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we apologize, Sarah. So moving forward, thanks again for joining me today on the podcast, Shantelle. So let's talk about your career and where you started from. Prior to the district, what did you do?
Wow. So I started actually as a corrections officer back in. I'm not going to provide the date. I'll be dating myself. We'll just say it was a long time ago. I was there at the Orleans Parish Prison for 3 years. Yes. And I did that part-time for about a year while I was in college. And then my last year and a half there, I was full-time. After that, I left New Orleans and went to Shreveport. And there I became a communications officer. I stayed there about a year and a half. And then I came here to Texas. And I went to the Urban Police Department. I was there for 17 years, 10 months, and 8 days.
Do you have the minutes and seconds down?
12 hours.
Yeah. 12 hours and how many minutes and seconds?
It was just 12 hours.
There's math involved there.
Yeah. You know I am about math.
I'm not a math person. My hat's off to anybody that can do math. I'm really proud of you.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
So you're at
my strong suit?
No.
But I can dance a little bit with it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. If I have my phone with me, I am a whiz kid with it.
Yeah, Siri. What's 100 times 50, 100? I'm exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Siri is good on math.
So I have to say, for all those that are not math people that are listening, if you are applying for a public safety job, there's not a lot of math.
There's not a lot of math.
No. So you joined Irving, and tell us about how you developed yourself there and your position and how long.
Absolutely. So Irving was really a good foundation for me. I started as a dispatcher 2. At Irving, they had 3 different types of positions you can come in as. Well, actually 2, really, I'm sorry. You come in as a call taker, which was a dispatcher 1 at the time I came in. I think they've changed the title of their positions now. And then the call taker, all they did was just answer the phones. I came in as a dispatcher 2 because I had experience at the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office in Shreveport. And so I was able to do everything, dispatch, call take, and then also do the NCIC, which is National Crime Information Center, just to be able to run people to see if they were wanted and check to see if vehicles are stolen. It's much more than that, but that's just the high level of what NCIC is. And so I started off as a dispatcher, and then I became a communications training officer. So I was able to train other people coming in. And then I moved from that to a dispatcher 3, which they call a senior dispatcher. So you're like a lead on the floor. So you're not actually a supervisor, but you assist with supervision. And then I became a communications supervisor, and I did that from 2014 up until I left and came here to the district. I left there in 2018. Awesome opportunity here at the district became available to be the Director of Support Services. It was the challenge of that was that I was growing at Irving, and I had no intentions of leaving at Irving. In fact, I was trying to grow to become the communications manager there. Other ways that I grew while I was at Irving was I became an instructor. I became an instructor in 2009, where I started teaching the NCIC. And then 2010 is when I became a basic TCOL instructor. And that's really, that is what changed me in a sense. I'm an introvert by nature. And so I would be that person that would just come in and do my job. You wouldn't hear anything from me.
So to fill you all in, and when she says instructor, a lot of the 911 personnel and police officers also in public safety will get instructor certifications, and they will be able to teach and provide licensing and everything to other public safety personnel also. So she was able to do both. A lot of dispatchers will do that. They'll come to our facility and teach, and they'll also be a dispatcher on the floor. It's another way to build your resume in public safety, and it's actually a separate job. It's a second job, so you're paid for teaching and everything like that. But it's great experience, and you meet tons of people, so that's amazing. So I wanted to explain to everyone what the instructor was on that. So yeah, that's something too. So if you're looking for a job to go into 911, that is something in the future that you could get into and get certified through our office to become a, I think it's basic
TCOL instructor.
Yeah, and TCOL is Texas
Commission on Law Enforcement.
Yes. So I forget myself too, but I know some of our folks out there may not know what that means. So we have to get certified for that. And it's a great opportunity. And plus you're helping new 911 dispatchers or other public safety personnel coming in and educating them. So that's good. So you did that, and then, continue. You were at Irving, and then you came to the district.
Yes, I've been at the district now for 4 years and 2 months.
Has it been 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like dog years.
4 years. 2018. It was 20 year. Yeah.
So it'll be 5 in 2023.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going my 5th year. This time has gone by so fast.
What happened? Where are we?
I know. I mean, we've had so many things going on here at the district, so many awesome things, which the time has gone by. I didn't realize. I look back. It's like, man, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, because mine is, I'll be on my 7th year in 2023.
Right.
It feels like, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't feel, actually, no, it does feel long.
Well,
in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Well, yeah, I can't say that, though. It seemed like it was just yesterday when I walked in this office.
Does it seem like just yesterday when you interviewed me for my position here at the district?
Sometimes it does, actually. And that was interesting. It's so interesting how things come about, because at that point in my career, I was still at Irving, and it was just a coincidence that we end up working together.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the story?
No, you tell the story.
Oh, I tell the story.
I'll chime in when I need to. Will you go?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I applied for this job I think it was public education.
Yeah, public education coordinator.
No, I think it was public education specialist.
Oh, was it specialist?
I don't know. I'll have to go shuffle.
Oh, yeah, because you changed it.
I have to go shuffle through all my business cards, all my old name plaques.
I think it was
because my job has changed like three times.
Yes. All for the best.
It's all for, it was all about growth.
Yes.
So I applied for the job, and there was 20 people, I believe.
It was quite a few, and a lot of them were from our district, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my whole thing of it, I actually asked a past employee, and I said, do you think this is something that I would be interested in, or I'd be good at? Because I'm one of those ones that, if you don't think I'm going to be okay, then, just be honest with me, So I don't want to waste anybody's time or my own time. And they said, yeah, you should apply. So this would have been early November, because my start date was November 16th. So it would have been maybe late September.
I think it was late October.
September, October, November. Oh, wait, I skipped a month. So yeah, October, you're right. And I was the first interview out of 20.
Yep, very first.
And you go into this room and there's all these people. And Shantelle was on the opposite end. We have this very long conference room table, and she was on the other head of the table, and I was at the opposite end. And I know that the other manager, your head manager at Irving at the time, was supposed to come and she couldn't. So you stepped in for her to come in and do that. And at the district, we used to bring in other personnel from our district to help us with hiring for staff here. And I remember, I'm pretty sure I only made eye contact with you like the whole time, because I know that there was people to my right and left. Like it just seemed like there was a sea of people in there.
It was like, I think 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
Yvonne was there.
Yeah.
Shay.
Oh my gosh, Shay was in there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wanda.
She was in the back corner. She wasn't at the table.
Yeah. I
So
can't remember who else.
there was a lot of people. There was some staff from here and everything, but I brought everything. I brought my portfolio. I brought everything because I have a graphic design degree and background in freelance and everything. But yeah, I remember just looking at you and I felt so confident. And I was like, if I just look at that lady down at the end of the table, I think I'm going to be okay. So, and I remember because you have a pretty good poker face sometimes, but sometimes you don't, in a good way on this situation, because I could tell you were very like, oh wow, she made stickers. Because I made stickers, I made all this stuff to pass out, and so I was like, well, that lady at the end, I mean, I don't know the rest of them, but
yeah, you had me sold. I can say it now.
Yeah. So 6 years later, it's totally fine. We're not making any sort of biased comments or anything. So it is what it is. So, but yeah, the irony of it is then, that was 16, and then here you come 2 years later and you're working here.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know how everyone else is. Kind of, you have those moments in life where, you reconnect with someone again and whatnot. I think that's really, really neat. So
it is. And you have built relationships too in the PSAPs. Like you did exactly what you said you were going to do in that interview, which was amazing. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Yeah, you did.
I don't.
You said you wanted to come in, build relationships, want to get to know all the PSAP managers, all the centers, and how they operate, and you want to provide the graphics, the design of those, and you have, as far as building up this program, what it was then to changing it just in a whole new way to reach the public. And it's just been awesome.
More of a public relations side of it, that. Yeah. So it's, I don't remember a lot of that. I just did it. And now I know a lot of our 720 some dispatchers out there, and they're all pretty fabulous, and all the managers, and a lot of changes. I mean, just within my time here and your time here, just in 3 years, there's always a lot of changes and movements. And my favorite, I don't know if you've ever witnessed it, if you ever go to a PSAP, and when I say PSAP, it's Public Safety Answering Point. It's how we call them. Most of the time we'll just say 911 Center or something. So if we say PSAP, that's what we mean.
And currently the trend now is geared toward ECC, which is Emergency Communication Center.
Yes. You can, you guys out there, you can just call it the 911 Center if you want. But if you want to get fancy and impress people, you can call it a PSAP or ECC. Yeah. So just in case anybody's asked, you might be on Jeopardy and they ask you.
Right.
So if you win a lot of money, we just ask for a little bit of it.
Just a little bit, please.
Just a smidgen.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, so that's, wow. Anyway, that's a nice little time capsule that we have. But yeah, lots of changes. And that's what I was going to tell you is, do you ever go into a PSAP? And this has happened to me recently. And I've seen a dispatcher at one agency for a long time, and then I show up to another agency, and they're in there. Yeah. And I'm like, what? Hey.
Wait a minute, what happened?
I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I just, But it's, it's just, if it's like a lateral move or something like that, I mean, just changes. Some people move, too, and they don't want to drive. I mean, we all know what the traffic is out here, and I don't want to live that far from the office. I mean, I love driving the Sally car around, but sometimes traffic is just a pain in the neck.
Yes, it is, definitely. Yeah.
So with you here at the district, what are some of the goals that you had set? We've talked about the goals that I had set in my interview. And of course, I didn't sit in your interview. Unfortunately, that actually would have been great.
My interview was awesome. I was very nervous, and honestly, I didn't think I did well enough to get the job.
Well, clearly you were wrong.
Clearly, I was wrong, but I have such high expectations of myself, and everything turned out good. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Director of Support Services. What is that? I mean, of course, I saw the job posting and stuff, and even then I was hesitant about applying because my roadmap was completely different than what I envisioned. And honestly, as I look back and reflect on that, I'm glad I did take the opportunity because I've grown so much. But I oversee the training department, public education, as well as our quality assurance program. And each of those departments are so different. In fact, the quality assurance program is something that we just started. It was just recently called operations support. And what that person did was oversee, our buoyance, our language line services, and a lot of things that we handle in-house. Now we brought in that spectrum for that person to do quality assurance, meaning check the things on training, come up with quality assurance processes for the district to make us more leaner, to look at things from a different spectrum. And we're also looking into that person being APCO P33, not necessarily being certified in that, but just what does that entail?
Now, you said APCO P33. Do you want to explain what that is for the folks that may not know what that is?
Absolutely. From the dispatcher is basically a certification to show that their training program is up to par. That's in simple terms.
And what is APCO?
APCO is the Associated Public Safety Officials.
We use this term so much. Everybody uses this terms in the industry, and then when you ask them what that means, they're like, "Oh, rats."
Yes. Well, it's the overarching of APCO is basically for our telecommunicators, our PSAPs, to help us. We come up with standards, processes, guidelines. Legislative-wise, they fight for things that anything 911. Basically.
Yeah, and they're national. So APCO is something that's not just in Texas; it's everywhere.
Yes.
And is it international or just national?
Well, that last part of that is international.
Oh, it is international.
Yes.
Okay.
They have partners in Mexico, partners in Canada.
Okay,
Yes.
I didn't know if it maybe went over to Europe or anything like that.
And they're working on other countries as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. So you, you're just looking at the job description and you're seeing all of that and what you're going to do. But yeah, you were talking about the last position that now you're taking that on or bring someone else on for that. Is that right?
That's correct. For the quality assurance.
Yes.
Yes. And we actually have brought someone on for that position, for the quality assurance position.
Okay.
It basically was the same person that was doing our operations specialist. We just changed her job title. And we added a few more things to her job description to help, again, make our processes better here at the district.
Yeah. And that's great. Like, within our building, giving another, staff member a chance to grow themselves and
Absolutely.
Everything. Because we're not a large organization. We do large things.
Right.
We do big things.
Absolutely.
But we're a very small, there's not a staff of 500. There's not,
right.
So that's what I love about my job is that there's things that can be implemented to grow your position.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, whatever plans you have, whether it's to be, a director of your own department or something, those opportunities are there. We just have to make room, right?
Yeah.
We have to make room in the building. We need to add a second floor or something like that. But, so that's great for that opportunity that you guys are, you as the admin staff, you as one of the members of the admin staff giving the opportunity to other ones. What are some of the goals that have you ever had a time where you have set goals when you started the career and you didn't maybe think that might be a little challenging, but you ended up, educating yourself or doing different tasks that would get you to reach that goal? And what does that entail?
Are you referring to my time here at the district or overall?
Here at the district.
Okay. Well, one of the main goals when I came to the district, I took a look at all the departments that I had, and I had more when I first came on than I do now, which is even better because I'm allowed to really focus more so on those particular departments.
Yeah.
And it's not overwhelming in a sense. Specifically, I would say the training department. With training, we provide continuing education for our telecommunicators from the basic level all the way to the master's. And the specific courses can include courses for mental health, courses for supervision, as well as, the basic telecommunicator course itself, the one that every telecommunicator needs to be hired. Excuse me. Here recently, we just implemented the telecommunicator CPR course, which is required for all telecommunicators in the state of Texas. So my goal for the training department when I came in was to be able to continue to offer training at a high level, whether that, but cut costs, and meaning hiring the right people that could also teach some of the courses that we were actually paying for. So that meant we had to build a curriculum. Also, another goal that I had was train our instructors. I remember my time as an instructor coming in. I had to learn everything the hard way. Who was TCO, learning about TCO, learning how to, develop my own curriculum, my own courses. How do I do that? And so we have what we call instructor workshops, and those are specifically to develop instructors. And I think they're doing pretty well. So those are two of my main goals that I had coming in from the training perspective. Public education, my goal for that was just learning more about public education because my background is in training. Mm-hmm. And I knew a little bit about public education because we did a little bit when I was in Irving, but not to the max that we have here at the district.
Not to the party level that I have it at.
Not to the party level, exactly. Because all we focused on at Irving was going to the schools, second graders. That was our program. But public education is way more than that. Mm-hmm. And so the goals that I have for public education, I had to work with Abigail on those goals.
I know her.
You know her?
I know her. I know her very well.
But I think, I know, based on, the stats show that public education has grown so much since Abigail has taken on her role here at the district.
Well, thank you, Shantelle.
No, I appreciate you, actually.
Well, I love my job. So
and it shows.
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah,
We're almost at 10,000. Right?
Almost at 10. I think we're 240
So if you're not following us, you need to be following us.
Good plug. I love it. You're really getting into this. I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely.
When you started the district, what was your first impression? Because coming from a PSAP in our district and coming more of what I call it the bird's eye view of things, what was your first impression? Did you imagine how big we were and what we did?
I had no clue. I only knew surface level. And what I mean by that, from the PSAP manager's perspective, all I knew is if we had an issue, we would call the district. And somebody from AT&T would come out and fix our issue.
Now, do you want to be specific on issues?
Okay, for instance, in our phone, our phone wasn't working, or our phone lines was down for whatever reason. Then we would call the district because the district will handle our phones. Yeah. 911 calls specifically if it was a 911 issue.
Yeah, 911 line only.
Yes.
Anytime. Just to clarify that for everyone, is we only handle the 911 functionality of things, not the non-emergency line. Those are the basic telephone lines that the city will pay for. We handle the 911 lines only.
And the equipment.
Mm-hmm. And the equipment.
So if there was if my headset on my phone wasn't working, then I would call the district. But if it was the radio, then I would have to call the city's radio department to clarify that more so as far as an example.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that.
So, that bird's eye view is not what you think it is at all. And when I started, it was less staff. So to imagine that, I think we had, 12 people or 13 people when I started.
I think that's
about right.
Before
then, they've had 10 people running this county. The county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then amazing what you can get done with 10 people.
Right. But that wasn't sustainable, as we can see, because the county has grown so much.
Yes, 2.2 million. I was talking about this in the last episode that we were, I know when I started here at the district, it was 1.7.
7 million, yes.
And then I believe now Tarrant County is at 2.2, because I know Fort Worth has reached over 1 million now.
Yes.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a huge backyard.
It is. For me, I come from an operations background. So to come over here and to go to the and I call them the nerds side of the house, because they're way smarter than me in the sense of technology.
Are you talking about our friends on the south end of the building?
Okay. Yes. But I mean, this ship could not work without them.
No, they are so fabulous. And that's why I was gushing at them on episode 1. I was just gushing. They are so smart, and and they are so great to help anyone out, and they will even explain it to me the way I need to have it explained, because that way I can understand it to tell the public. And they're brilliant at it.
They are. And I mean, just to be in some of the meetings with them, coming to the district, I've had lots of opportunities to grow. I've grown so much that I can't say that it would be the same had I stayed at Urban. And this is not a knock at all. It's just different, a different environment.
Sure. There's different positions and opportunities, like any job.
Right.
Yeah.
The technology aspect, I've learned so much in these 4 years that I've been here that I would not have learned over at Urban, because we don't focus on that. We just focused on operations, getting the calls answered and getting it out here. Here at the district, I've learned the why, how those calls are processed.
The behind the call.
Exactly.
What is it? Oh, title plug.
Right. Exactly. Not the call.
Yes.
Beyond the call.
Beyond the call. That's what it is.
Yes, that is. I mean, it is. Going to different technology conferences has allowed me to see things from a different spectrum. That, again, I would not have learned those things being in the center. Again, not a knock. It's just that wasn't my wheelhouse. And even though it's not my wheelhouse now.
Yeah, and it wasn't available. It wasn't that in depth there.
Right.
The dispatchers don't see that stuff, nor should they have to, because they're the front line. So they are not going to see that. So absolutely, I understand what you're saying. It's those opportunities weren't there because you guys didn't handle them. There was a district office over that. So now in the past 5 years you're seeing that.
Exactly.
Now.
And seeing, just the things that I'm over, and then seeing the things that the technology guys handle. We provide so many services for our dispatchers that I didn't even realize. Me working in the dispatch center, didn't even realize. I just thought, they provide the 911 equipment. Well, that's huge right there.
I didn't even know that. Like when I was a dispatcher at North Richland Hills, and I was also one at Euless too, I had no idea. I knew that we came here for training, but I had no clue what they did. Or I just, poof, this stuff just came.
Right.
Like it's working, I'm here, I have the tools I need to do my job, and then I have to go to their building for classes.
Exactly.
Which meant I got a day off the next day because I would sleep. Because I was on midnight shift. But that's all I knew too.
And really, before I moved up in the ranks at Irving, that's all I knew, is that, hey, we answer these calls. And when they came out, I didn't understand and put two and two together that it was their responsibility to handle this equipment to ensure that we receive those 911 calls. I didn't understand that. When we got the TDD, which is, for the hearing impaired, having that separate line, because when I started at Urban, we had a separate phone, and it was in the back of the room, and all I was told that, hey, if that phone rings, you go answer it.
Was that the one with the receiver, and then you put it on, Google that if you don't. Google it. An old TDD phone machine. You're going to have to Google it. I can't verbally describe that.
But now all of that is embedded in the phone system, so you don't have to go to another system, which is really cool. And we make that happen here.
Yeah, and you mentioned the language line, and we make that happen for all of the 30 dispatch centers in Tarrant County. So you're right. It's absolutely amazing on everything. But It's so crazy. Again, like we were talking about the tech team, our friends on the south side of the building.
Yeah.
Because our building is split in half. The tech side is on the south end, and then the support services is on the north end of the building. And so, but they're fantastic, and they have such a great personality too.
Yeah,
They're all really funny, and they just make me laugh, and they make us all laugh.
Yes.
And so, do you see a difference from? Now we talked about how we both can experience from being dispatchers in Tarrant County that you weren't really sure what the district was or who we were and stuff. Do you feel that now that has changed? That there's more bridges built between us and the dispatchers on a different level, on more of a communication side level of, opening those doors of communication. It's more welcoming. I don't want to say that we blocked it before, but there's more communication coming through and building, like I said, building bridges, and they talk to several members of staff, and there's more understanding of who we are and what we do. Do you feel like that's grown since you've been here at the district?
I feel like it's growing. We still have some gaps. But overall, I feel like we're putting a message out there that we're open for that engagement. We're open. We're trying to be more of a resource to our dispatchers, to our centers. But I mean, like I said, we still have a few gaps, but overall, yeah.
I think that's grown. That's good. Yeah. That's something that as a district, we really strive to be there to help and to know that they can contact anyone here. Everyone on our staff is extremely well. I know you'd agree with me on the communication aspect that we all have. People can email us Absolutely. And we immediately respond Absolutely. And everything, because you never know what that email may say.
Right.
And it could be a dispatcher working the night shift and they're not really sure who to get a hold of if there isn't some sort of a holdup that they need some help with, and sometimes that's their shift. So unfortunately, if they have to email and it's a question, and if one of us sees it, then we'll answer. I've done it several times, and then I love it because they're always like, "Whoa, what are you doing up at 2:00 in the morning?" I can't stop binge watching this show. That's what my problem is. So, well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Shantelle. And I am as your employee, because our chain of command, or food chain, if you want to call it.
Yeah, food chain is good.
Food chain is, so Shantelle, I did report to you, and then we did some restructuring, and then I have manager Levi that I see, and then it's you.
Yes.
So, but for a long time, I reported just to you. So, but very great coach as a leader, and I'm always very impressed with that. And I've learned a lot from Shantelle here, and helps with my growth in what I do, and a lot of confidence. So I always tell her I'm channeling my inner Shantelle when I'm handling things that may be going a little astray, but they're really not. They're on track. It's just that I have a tendency to put way too much on my plate.
Yes.
At one time.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're working on that, though.
I am. I'm handling it very well.
You are.
I'm prioritizing and doing all of that. So it'll all get done. So thank you again so much for coming on the podcast. I hope you had a good time. Not a problem. And be sure to give us a follow. We are on all sorts of platforms now: Spotify, iHeart, Samsung, Google Play. All sorts of things. Yeah, all sorts of things. So make sure to download and join us next week. I'm going to interview our training coordinators, our awesome training department, two awesome ladies who are doing an amazing job, and they are just a high five.
Yes.
Together they make a high five. It's like Wonder Twins Activate, if anybody knows that reference. Google that too.
So, you're dating yourself, Abby.
I know, oh my gosh. So good fun. Thanks again for joining us, and I hope you have a fabulous week.